Frustrated losing the extra fat around your midsection? I think this is a problem most of us have to get the six pack, the V taper, or whatever it is to get the dream physique. I can say after 7 years, I finally found the answer. I want to share it with you guys. I want to break it down in two reasons why. You have your training and your nutrition, and why this may not even be worth it for you at the end. So stay to the end, guys. I'm going to show you how you can overcome this and how you can get this at a quicker way. So again, guys, we have to think about how we're going to get this. So losing the extra belly fat around your midsection is the number one reason I think why people want to start out in their fitness journey. I mean, you want to get, a six pack or essentially that V taper. And it's a lot harder than we think because we just don't know the necessary information or the principles to get us there at a quicker way. Yes, you mean be in a calorie deficit, that's great, but how are we going to do it over the long term? Long term sustainability is the number one reason why you're going to be able to do this successfully. And I want to share exactly how you can do this. So, first, we have to eliminate the perception of spot reduction. It doesn't exist, guys. So, you can't just like take your arm and only lose fat right here. It doesn't exist. We need to change our perception from having a spot reduction to a lower belly or lower body fat percentage. So once we're able to actually change this mindset, we're actually going to be able to get there at a quicker way. And lowering your body fat percentage is not as hard as we think. We just, of course, need to be eating the right foods and training the right ways, which I'll essentially break down next. But if we're able to do this successfully, we'll actually be able to lose the lower belly fat and essentially get the V taper, get the V taper having that wide back, wide shoulders, and essentially get the six pack. But we have to make sure that we're lowering our body fat percentage and not just doing spot reduction metrics, because spot reduction is a myth, guys. You can't just remove belly fat from a certain area of your body. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did, but it doesn't. So once we change this perception, we're on the right path right now. And it's really crucial that we get something like this in our heads and we actually drill it down, because if we don't get, if we don't have expectations of just trying to do stuff that's not, realistic, then it will make the journey a little more, I guess, we'll enjoy the process essentially a little better, and that will enhance our long-term sustainability in the process. So the way we're going to go about this for nutrition and training is, for training, I want to make sure we're targeting our upper back. If we're able to actually make our lats and our obliques a little bigger, it can make our waist a little smaller when we complement it with nutrition. So that's why I like to essentially get a wider back. I think a wider back, as we know, the V taper will allow us to build more muscle and essentially make our waist to look a little more smaller, to essentially hide or take away over time that belly fat percentage. And another point that I want to emphasize is that spot reduction doesn't exist. You need to drop your lower belly fat, and the way we're going to do this, of course, is by eating in a calorie deficit to lose this body percentage over time. But little teaser, guys, that your abs and the body fat percentage essentially are the last parts to go in your body from your chest, your shoulders, your triceps. So you can't say, Alex, like, I'm in a calorie deficit, but I'm not getting I'm not losing this belly fat. Yes, because it's the last part to go in the entire process, which is annoying, but it's just how things are these days. So if we could do this over the long term, towards the end, you will start to see you actually losing this belly fat percentage, and at a quicker way, because you gain the foundational knowledge on how to do it. So it's extremely crucial we're doing that and we have that mindset. And now the questions probably pop in your head: what foods do I need to eat? So again, guys, I'm gonna break the, I guess, the teaser in the room, or whatever you want to call it. There's no proper diet. We just need to make sure we're losing weight at a sustainable way. So anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds, I think, is really beneficial for us to do this. And if you're losing 5 to 10 pounds per week or per month, I don't know, it's not sustainable. And you may think that's a win, but it's really not, because if you can't sustain a habit or something long term, what is essentially going to happen is going to be a fad diet or short term pleasure. And when you do stuff like this, you get the instant results. But if you sustain this, it's just not going to last, because you can't lose 50 pounds in 4 weeks. So we have to switch our mindset to losing 1 to 2 pounds per week and gaining the habit. Once we gain the habit, then we can compound these results over time, and it will make our training a lot easier with our nutrition. And it's really important we understand stuff like this, because once we change the mindset on why we're able to do this and how we're able to do this, we'll begin to lose the belly fat percentage over a longer period of time. And So once we talk about, again, the training, we want to increase the size of our upper back, so maybe the lats and the obliques. The obliques isn't the part of the upper back, but if we can actually increase the size on both of these, then it will allow us to make our waist a little smaller. Then if we remove spot reduction and change it to essentially lower body fat percentage, we'll actually begin to lose weight over time, but in a sustainable way, 1 to 2 pounds per week. And again, guys, there's no proper diet. I think that's pretty self-explanatory at this point, but I want to make that very clear. There's no proper diet. You have to make sure you're relying on whole foods, whole grains, complex carbs, so sweet potatoes, white rice, stuff that makes you feel full longer, has higher in fiber, and is actually less calories. High protein intake, less calories, build muscle quicker, and essentially make us feel full longer. And then fats, we need to make sure we're doing the right amount of fats, but in moderation, because we know fats are 2x of a protein and a carb. So just a little, just a little preview of that, a carb is 4 calories per 1 gram. A protein is 4 calories per 1 gram. A fat is 9 calories per 1 gram. So you see it's 2x. So if you go over carbs a lot, you're going to still be in a calorie increase. So make sure we're always in moderation with our fats, because the oils and the nuts are, it's a little perception, and it could really be deceiving that you may think you're doing it right, but essentially you're not. So always weigh your food. So, and the way we're actually going to go about tying this all together, the nutrition, the training, and why this might not even be worth it, essentially, is we have to track our progress. I mean, like anything else, the more we track our progress, the more we can see these small wins and results. So please, guys, don't rely on the scale. This can be like, what are you talking about? Don't rely on the scale. Rely on hard data. So measurements. Measurements are great. Progress pictures are also great. I just like that for self-perception before and after, but measurements will never lie to you. So the thing with the scale is it could be very, I guess misleading, essentially, because you could look at it, you could be in a calorie deficit, and you say like, why am I not dropping weight? That could be the case for you, but it's, all bodies act differently, so you're not going to see the same results happening all, at once. But measurements won't lie. If you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight, and the measurements won't lie. So I always want you guys to rely more on measurements than you do on the scale, but the scale is still a good and viable option. I just want you to have a different perception of it. So again, guys, why this might not even be worth it for you. You're probably like, why is this guy talking like this? You have to understand that if you're not willing to do or change the mindset of removing spot reduction, having the proper nutrition, having the proper training, relying on hard numerical measurements, relying on a sufficient whole food, um, proper nutrition based diet, all these different things, if you're not going to be aligning these categories in the same vertical, then it's not going to be worth it, because you're going to think spot reduction is the answer, and we know it's not the answer. To misconception. But if we could switch from spot reduction to dropping or lowering our body fat percentage, and of course, guys, we know that after watching this video that it's, losing the handles is the last part to go. We're not going to get instant gratification. It's going to be a long-term process. But if we can sustain this long-term progress, we'll get the results, because we're going to make it sustainable. The longevity of our fitness career will never stop, and these habits will just build on top of each other. That's why I want to emphasize, if it's not going to be worth it for you, if you're not going to do this, you have to make sure you do each thing, and don't look at it as short-term wins, but long-term pleasures. Short-term wins will give you, yeah, like I said, guys, a short-term fix. You'll get the results right away, but you won't sustain it. So I hope this answers your question, how you could lose lower belly fat, or lower the little belly fat down here. And if you have any questions, as always, guys, throw me a comment down below, shoot me a DM. I always link my IG down below. But I hope this video was helpful, and it really transformed my life thinking, in these kind of terms. And I'm sure it'll do the same for you. But make sure you take action. It's the number one way a lot of people fail, because they just don't want to take action. So again, guys, as always, if you thought this video was helpful, give me that thumbs up. Always hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so you can get new time notifications or in-time notifications on new videos that's being dropping that can help your fitness journey, and to help you speed up to get you to the next step to your dream body, lose fat, build muscle, whatever it is. And this is exactly what I do with one-on-one on coaching, and I make sure you stay accountable. I make sure you get the proper nutrition. I make sure you get the nutrition, and make sure you get the right information and skill sets. Take me out of the picture. That's the most important. So that's why I emphasize the most. Like, my job is to remove myself from the picture after the program ends. That's how anybody should do it, but no one tells you that. So Thanks guys for actually watching another video. Again, make sure you hit those thumbs up, you hit that subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video on the channel. Cheers.